Hey guys, so I am here with the Perfect Palette Tag. I have done this once before in the past, but I recently saw Lashes Tony XO do her tag, and I thought I would go ahead and revamp mine because I think it's been about a year. So I've gotten a lot of palettes since then, and I just decided to go ahead and do a new one so you guys can see what my current favorites and stuff are. So if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first question, there are 10 questions total, I believe. And I just got the questions off of her page, so hopefully this is accurate. I'm pretty sure it is. So the first one is best packaging. And I would have to say best packaging for me because I'm more of a black person. Like, I like dark things. Black is like my favorite color, obviously. I'm more drawn to the darker palettes. So I would say the Moondust is probably my favorite. It's a mix of black and like a gunmetal little flecks, and it also has the Moondust in like a little mirror pattern. I really, really like it. And it's also just like a lightweight, really nice palette to travel with or to just carry around in general. But here's the shades on that one. So I would have to say this is probably my favorite packaging. Plus, I really, really, really love this palette. So yeah, best packaging has to go to the Urban Decay Moondust for me. She did also give second place, I would say, to other palettes. I really don't have a second place as far as best packaging goes. I really like the Vice palettes and the Electric palette. A lot of the Urban Decay palettes are really nice, and I dig the Kylie palettes with the eyes. It's really cool. So those would have to be my favorite, but this is number one. The next question is most color payoff, and I struggled with this one because like I have so many really good palettes. I just recently, well, I don't have it yet. We bought the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, so I have a feeling that's going to be probably my favorite as far as color payoff goes, but I don't get it just yet. I have to wait a little bit for it. So right now I would say my favorite color payoff palettes would have to be the Morphe palettes, and that's the 350S and the 350M palettes. And I will go ahead and swatch a few. This is the 350S, and this one is crazy good. Let me roll up my sleeves here. Here's the shadows in that one. Gorgeous, gorgeous. These are all shimmers. Okay, so, and they're so creamy, like super creamy. Look at that. Can you see that? Okay. How crazy, right? That's insane, like so much color. All right, and let me do the other ones. Here's the, I can't talk today. The mattes, it's basically the same shades, just mattes. Okay, so I'm gonna oh, I didn't even touch that one. Cool. Okay. Oh, so here's those. And then crazy, right? Insane. I really, really, really love these. The shimmers are extra, extra creamy. So I highly recommend those, guys. So that's the best color payoff. Most versatile. I had a problem with this one because I have so many palettes that I feel like are very versatile, and I tried to find a palette that had different types of shadows, like shimmers and mattes and stuff like that. But sorry, my nose ring is itching. But I really couldn't find one that I was 100% satisfied with. So the one that I ended up choosing was the Tartiste Pro palette. Here it is, and here is the mirror on this thing is huge, so sorry. Here's the shadows. Most of these are matte, all but 4 are matte, but you do also have 4 duochromes. So I feel like this is the most versatile because you have those duochromes, but you also have a ton of different matte shades. You have cool tone, warm tone, and then you also have your neutrals. So I feel like this is a really good palette for pretty much any kind of look. Let me go ahead and swatch one of the duochromes. Here's those. Let me close this. So you also get really good color payoff with this one as well. So I really enjoy this palette. I know some people kind of have their feelings about it, but I really have enjoyed it. So I'm happy with that purchase. And then the next one is Best for Traveling. I would say, I was going to say the Tarteist Pro, or the I don't know how you say, I want to say that Tarte was thinking of Artist, like an Artist Pro palette. So I'm going to say it's Tarteist or Tarteist. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. Like an Artist, I don't even know. Anyways, so I'm just rambling. So I was going to choose this one, but, I decided to go with this one here. This is the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette. Another matte one, but I really, really, really love my matte shadows. I like that the mirror folds all the way out, but you have all these beautiful shadows. And something that Lashes Tony XO pointed out was that you can put a brush here. So I can take one of my favorite brushes and just stick it in there, or, you know, like one that actually goes with it, and just stick it in there, and then I'm good to go. So yeah, I really like this one, and all the shades are pretty neutral, which is what I like. And obviously I love mattes, so this is a really, really, really good traveling palette for me. So, and this is one that I do tend to take a lot, this one in my Kylie's. The only reason why I wouldn't say Kylie alone is because she doesn't have a mirror in her palettes, and usually when I travel, I use the mirror in my palette to do my makeup, so that's why. The next one is Biggest Regret. So, when I first started doing makeup, I was a big, big fan of Kat Von D. Like her and Jeffree Star sparked my interest in makeup, which is kind of funny now if you think about it. But the first palette that the first high-end palette that I ever got was the Shade and Light eye palette. And I was so excited to have that. I thought I was so cool. I thought, like, oh my gosh, all my makeup is gonna be amazing now. Like, quit hitting me, please. Like, it's gonna look so profesh. Like, I'm at the big guys right now. Like, I'm doing good with this palette. So I got it and I loved it. For a while I used it, but then like I started discovering other makeup brands, and then I was just like, I started realizing more and more about makeup and learning more, and I realized that this really isn't a very good palette. So my biggest regret is probably gonna be the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I do like Kat Von D, and I love her lipsticks, and I love her foundation. That was like my go-to foundation for the longest time. I love her eyeliner, I love her primers and her setting sprays, but her palettes are very, very chalky. And let's be honest, like, if you're into makeup or you know anything about makeup, you know that these guys are very chalky, and you really have to dig into the shadows to get a decent color payoff. Like, that's chalky. Like, I shouldn't have to dig so much to get a decent color payoff. So this is probably my biggest regret. I do really like her packaging, and I was gonna give her best packaging, but because I don't really use her that much, I decided not to, because I just don't find myself using her palettes. So I put them in the other categories, which I thought that they fit best. So this is probably my biggest regret. Plus, these things are like $54, and that's not okay to sell this for $54 and for it to be really bad. I haven't touched it in like a year. I got it when it first came out, so, and I haven't touched it since. I maybe used it maybe a handful of times because I was really into Kat Von D then, and like the palette I was so excited for, so I probably used it about 10 times. But after that, didn't touch it. Okay, so my phone locked on me. The next one is best names. So I was trying to think of like the best named palettes. Like, I have so many palettes with like really cool names. Like, all the Kat Von D palettes have really good names. The Tarte palettes have really cute names. The Moondust palette had really good names, but my favorite names come from the Beauty Killer palette by Jeffree Star. This also was going to be my color payoff one, but I decided to give it to someone else because I do have a problem with the way the pink kind of stains. But, I mean, I guess that is really good. You know it won't go anywhere. So, the names in this one are Star Power, Princess, Violence, Rich Bitch, Courtney, Expensive, Confession, Vanity, China White, and Black Rainbow. So I really liked those names. And this is probably one of my favorite palettes. It's in my top 10. Actually, it's in my top 5. So I really like the names of these palettes, but I will show you the pink. Like, it's so pigmented, it's crazy. Look at that. But like, it stains. Like, if I don't wipe it off immediately, like, even if I wipe it off, this is a makeup remover. Look at that, you can still see. It's crazy, but they're really good, and I love the names. They're so cute. And I've heard the names of the new one, and I'm really excited to get my hands on that. So best names go to the Beauty Killer. Okay, so least used palette. I have a couple of these least used palettes. Like, all of my Naked palettes, my Urban Decay ones, I don't really use those. The chocolate bars, I don't really use those too much, but I do use them. This palette, however, again, it's another Kat Von D, and it's probably her best one. It's the Mi Vida Loca palette, because my sister has the Monarch and a couple of other ones, and I really don't like that one. They're very, very chalky. Like, even this one is chalky, but I do use it occasionally because of the colors. And again, this one has really good names. But yeah, Synth is probably my favorite name. Vox, Black Metal, Skulls, Noble, Harpsichord. These are all really good names, but I just don't use it that much. And like, some of the shimmers are pretty good. Like, these are two of the shimmers. And well, that purple is not that good, but the pink is really, really good. Here's another one. Let me see if I can get, here's the white. The white's really good. Sometimes I use the white as a highlight. It just depends, but I haven't touched this one probably in like 6 or 7 months, just because I don't like the consistency of the shadows. I don't like the way that they sit on my eyelid. I don't like the way that they don't perform. But I do use it every now and then, just because I did pay for it, so I want to kind of get my money's worth. But this is probably my least used, and another one of my regrets. So there's that. Let's see, what's next? Most used palette. This was hard because when I do my eyes, I don't just use like one palette. I use multiple palettes. So this was really, really hard. But I picked 2 palettes because there's one that I use for contour and blush and sometimes highlight every day. Like, every day I pull this palette out. And that is the Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. Bunny is also a YouTuber, if you know who she is. And this is her palette. As you can see, the highlight is pretty gone. Well, not gone, but I've hit pan. And I'm almost about to hit pan on the bronzer, because I use that every day. I wish they would make this in a full size, and if they do, please let me know. Or if they make another one that's comparable to this from Tarte, let me know. Tarte is probably one of my favorite makeup brands, other than Urban Decay and Jeffree Star. So yeah, it's my top 3. So this is a really well-loved, well-used palette. The next one that's I use a lot, this one I used a lot before I got my Morphe ones. My Morphe ones I probably find myself using every day, but this one I used before I got those. I use the BH Cosmetics Carli Bybel palette a lot. Actually, just kidding. This is a different one. This is for a different, no, it's not. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, this one I used a lot. I'm like reading my list wrong. I have a list down here and I'm like, what? I use this one a lot. And as you can see, like, a lot of the shadows are pretty dented. Like, I use this one a lot. I also picked a higher end version. That's why I have 3 sitting here. I'm like, why do I have 3? So here's another one that I used to use a lot, and this one shadow typically. This is Pink Champagne by ABH. This is a self-made palette, and I used that guy like crazy. I would use these 2 together. That's why I had them sitting together, because I would use these 2. I would use the Carli for my everything else, and then that Pink Champagne for my lid, and I lived for these palettes. So yeah, those are my most used. Most loved. I have so many. I would have to say my most loved palette. Oh, I can't decide. I don't even think I pulled one for this. I'm going to list a highlighting palette, and I'm also going to list an eye palette. My most loved highlighting palette, and this is going to come to a surprise to a lot of people because I have almost all the Anastasia Beverly Hills glow kits, and I have an Urban Decay glow kit, and I have the Jeffree, but this palette is probably my favorite. This is the Sleek Solstice highlighting palette, and this guy is so beautiful. I'm going to swatch these for you. Are you ready? Oh, look at the glow on these guys. So beautiful. I use it every day. Like, well, I say every day, and now I'm like, I can't even say I'm wearing it today because I'm not. I'm wearing Jeffree today. But I really love it. I'll show you how it works because Jeffree's not really blinding right now because I didn't put a lot on. Look at that. I love it. It's my favorite. Okay, but I also don't have the Nicole Guerriero yet, so that will probably be my favorite. And then as far as eyeshadows go, my most loved palette, I'm gonna say again, probably, I wouldn't say, okay, I'm gonna say these two because I just saw these here. Okay, these came together. They're not my most used, but I love them because they come from another thing that I love. These are the Strobe Cosmetics American Horror Story palettes, and that is like my favorite show ever. I have the Hotel and the Freak Show, and those are my two favorite seasons from American Horror Story. So these guys are probably my most loved. Not necessarily my most used, but I love these guys like crazy. Look at these shadows. I'm gonna swatch some for you. They're so creepy. Okay, my camera just died on me. I'm so sorry. Here's the swatches. Beautiful, beautiful. And that is the Freak Show one. And then the next one is Hotel. Gorgeous. I don't even know which one I like the best. I couldn't tell you. Oh, they're all so beautiful. I just love them so much. I love all my palettes, really. But those guys, they come from a special place. Okay, and then the last one is, what would I take to a deserted island? If I was deserted on an island, what would I want to take with me? One palette for the whole island? I would honestly probably, because it's the most versatile, well, it wasn't the most versatile in my tag, but because it's something that I find myself using a lot, and it's something that has multiple things in it, I'd probably take my Swamp Queen palette. It's a toss-up between this one and probably the Tartiste Pro, or no, it'd be this one. Okay, number one, the reasons why is because mirror. You have to have a mirror, always. My Morphes don't have a mirror. Second reason, I can put a makeup brush, take it with me to do my makeup. Third reason, it has blush, contour, and highlight, and 9 shadows. So I could do a whole face with this palette. So this would probably be the one I would take on a deserted island. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. That's all the questions. I will leave a list of these questions down below so you guys can do the tag if you want. I had a blast doing this. It was kind of hard to pick between all the palettes that I have, because I have some really good ones. So it was really hard, but we made it through. So check out Lashes Tony XO's video. I'll try to link it below if I can get the link. She's really cool and I watch her a lot. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, click the thumbs up, click the thumbs up, please. Just kidding. Click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more. It really helps my channel. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.